Have you ever wondered how the simple act of gardening can help combat the monumental issue of climate change? Our planet's health is at a critical point, with rising temperatures, melting ice caps, and increasing weather unpredictability. These changes aren't just numbers on a data chart, they're real, tangible shifts that affect our daily lives and the natural world around us. But amidst this crisis, there's a glimmer of hope: sustainable gardening. This isn't just about cultivating beautiful blooms or growing your own veggies. It's about being part of a solution, an active player in the fight against climate change. By using sustainable practices, we can help absorb carbon from the atmosphere, protect biodiversity, manage stormwater, and conserve water resources. Gardening may seem like a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but when millions of gardeners worldwide do their part, it adds up. So, how exactly can your green thumb contribute to a greener planet? Let's dig deeper. One way to combat climate change through gardening is by sequestering carbon in your soil. You might be wondering, what exactly is carbon sequestration? It's the process of capturing and storing atmospheric carbon dioxide. It's one of the most effective ways we can reduce global warming, and it's happening right beneath our feet. Soil, you see, is a massive carbon storehouse. In fact, it holds 3 times as much carbon as the atmosphere. We can increase this storage capacity by implementing certain gardening practices. So how does this work? Well, plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis and convert it into organic matter. Some of this carbon-rich material is then transferred to the soil through the plant roots. In the soil, it's stored or sequestered for years, decades, or even centuries. Now let's take a look at an inspiring example. In the heart of a bustling city, a community garden is paving the way for urban carbon sequestration. This garden, aptly named the Carbon Sink, has been implementing carbon sequestration techniques for the past 5 years. They've adopted practices like composting, using cover crops, and avoiding soil disturbance. Composting returns organic matter to the soil, further enhancing its capacity to store carbon. Cover crops, plants grown specifically to be plowed back into the soil, enrich the soil with their carbon-rich biomass. And by minimizing soil disturbance, they've managed to preserve the soil's structure, allowing it to hold more carbon. The results? Remarkable. The carbon sink has seen a significant increase in soil carbon levels. This not only helps the climate by reducing atmospheric carbon dioxide, but it also improves soil health, leading to more vigorous plants and better yields. It's a win-win situation. By adopting these practices, you're not just helping the environment, you're also creating a more productive and resilient garden. As you can see, the soil in your garden is more than just dirt, it's a potential carbon sink. Another powerful technique is cultivating pollinator-friendly gardens. Let's delve into the world of these tiny garden allies. Pollinators, such as bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds, are vital to the survival of nearly 75% of the world's flowering plants and about 35% of global food crops. They're the unsung heroes of our ecosystem, playing a crucial role in biodiversity and helping plants reproduce. However, climate change poses a significant threat to these essential creatures. Rising temperatures, unpredictable weather patterns, and habitat loss all contribute to the decline of pollinator populations. This decline not only affects our gardens but also impacts our broader ecosystems and food supply. To illustrate the power of pollinator-friendly gardens, let's take a look at the case of the Honeybee Haven in California. This garden was established in 2009 and has since become a refuge for local pollinators. It's filled with native plants that provide nectar and pollen throughout the year, offering a reliable food source for bees and other pollinators. The garden also provides nesting materials and sites for different species, further enhancing local biodiversity. Creating a pollinator-friendly garden isn't as complex as it may seem. Start by choosing a variety of plants that bloom at different times of the year, ensuring a consistent food supply for pollinators. Native plants are a great choice, as they are well suited to local pollinators and conditions. Providing nesting sites can be as simple as leaving a small patch of bare ground for ground nesting bees or installing a bee hotel for solitary bees. Remember, even small actions matter. Avoiding pesticides, providing water sources, and leaving some areas of your garden a little wild can create a welcoming environment for pollinators. By attracting pollinators, your garden can become a small but significant sanctuary for these essential creatures. It's a testament to the fact that our individual actions as gardeners can contribute to a healthier, more resilient planet. Water is a precious resource, and your garden can help conserve it. Have you ever heard about rain gardens? They are designed to capture, absorb, and filter stormwater runoff from rooftops, driveways, patios, and other areas that don't absorb water. By doing so, they reduce the amount of polluted runoff reaching our streams and rivers, and recharge groundwater supplies. Rain gardens are not only functional, but they also add aesthetic value to your property. They can be planted with a variety of plants, including native perennials, grasses, and shrubs that are both beautiful and beneficial to local wildlife. Now let's talk about sustainable water usage. It's all about using water efficiently and wisely. For instance, watering your garden early in the morning or late in the evening can reduce water loss due to evaporation. You can also use mulch to retain moisture in the soil, or install a rain barrel to collect and reuse rainwater. To illustrate the potential of these techniques, let's consider the city of Philadelphia. In 2011, Philadelphia launched a 25-year plan called Green City Clean Waters. The initiative encourages residents to create rain gardens and adopt sustainable water practices. The result? A significant improvement in stormwater management. In fact, the city has been able to reduce stormwater runoff by over 1 billion gallons a year. That's the equivalent of over 1,500 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And it's not just about the numbers. The initiative has transformed neighborhoods, creating greener, more vibrant spaces. It has also fostered a sense of community, as residents come together to care for their rain gardens. So, could you imagine the impact if every gardener incorporated these practices? The potential is enormous. It's not about having a green thumb, it's about having a green heart. By creating a rain garden and practicing sustainable water usage, you're not just nurturing your plants, but also the planet. Through these techniques, your garden can play a part in water conservation and management. You may wonder, can my individual efforts really make a difference? The answer is a resounding yes. Each one of us has the potential to positively affect our environment, and when we all work together, these individual actions multiply, creating a collective force that can combat the effects of climate change. Consider the story of Grace, a retiree living in a bustling city. Despite having only a small balcony to work with, Grace transformed her space into a lush, pollinator-friendly garden. The flowers she planted attracted bees, butterflies, and other pollinators, contributing to their survival and promoting biodiversity in her urban environment. Or take the case of the Thompson family. They live in a suburban neighborhood, and decided to replace their water-thirsty lawn with a rain garden. Not only has this reduced their water usage significantly, but it also helps manage stormwater runoff in their community, reducing the risk of flooding and water pollution. These stories demonstrate that each of us, regardless of where we live or how much space we have, can make a significant impact. But the power of individual action doesn't stop at our own gardens. It extends to our communities as well. Imagine if every person in your neighborhood started composting, turning kitchen waste into nutrient-rich soil. Think about the impact that could have on reducing landfill waste and improving the health of our soils. Now envision this practice spreading to every neighborhood, every city, every country around the globe. The collective impact would be enormous. Remember, our actions are like seeds. One seed may seem insignificant, but when it grows into a tree, it can absorb up to 48 pounds of carbon dioxide per year. Now imagine millions, even billions of these seeds, each growing into a tree, each absorbing carbon dioxide. That's the power of individual action. Your garden, no matter how small, can be a powerful tool in the fight against climate change. So how can you start making a difference today? Let's break it down into a few simple, effective steps. Firstly, start by enriching your soil. Add compost and organic matter to increase carbon sequestration. Remember, healthier soil equals healthier plants and a healthier planet. Secondly, create a haven for pollinators. Plant a variety of native flowering plants that bloom at different times to provide food for pollinators year-round. Next, consider building a rain garden to manage stormwater runoff. This not only helps to prevent soil erosion but also aids in water conservation. Finally, always practice sustainable water usage. Choose drought-resistant plants, water early in the morning or late in the evening to reduce evaporation, and consider installing a drip irrigation system for better water efficiency. By implementing these techniques, you can contribute significantly to combating climate change right from your garden. Remember, the fight against climate change begins in your own backyard. Start gardening for the future today.